Tom, have you sent me that marketing report yet?
Not yet, Jay, no.
But that's a priority. I've asked you for that 3 times already. What have you been working on?
Well, last night I was listening to a fascinating podcast. This psychologist said that to optimize my productivity at work, I need to understand exactly who I am as a person.
Okay, and?
So I've been running some tests on myself, and I've realized something very surprising.
Right. And how does that optimize your productivity?
Yes, well, that's what I've been trying to figure out all morning.
Fine. Then tell me your results. We'll analyze the data and we'll adapt it to your work routine. We've been wanting to get more out of you ever since you began.
Okay, well, I've learnt that my spirit animal is an armadillo. My next lover will be a princess called Ashanti. And if I were a soup, I'd be carrot and coriander.
What?
We use both the simple and continuous forms of the present perfect to connect past actions with the present.
But how are they different and when should we use them?
The most important difference is that the present perfect simple focuses on the result of an action, while the present perfect continuous focuses on the doing of the action itself.
Have you sent me that marketing report yet?
My boss wants to know if the task is completed.
But besides that, in contrast, Tom's boss also wants to know how Tom has been spending his time.
What have you been working on?
The boss is more interested in the action that has been in progress and less interested in the completed task, the marketing report.
You know, that all sounds very familiar. Have we heard this explanation before?
Yes, we have. This change of focus from the result of the action to the doing of the action also exists between the past simple and the past continuous, and the past perfect simple with the past perfect continuous. Look at this past continuous sentence. Last night I was listening to a fascinating podcast.
You're focusing attention on the action, listening, happening over a period of time last night.
Now, compare it with this past simple sentence. I listened to a fascinating podcast. Both sentences communicate more or less the same information, but the focus this time is on the completion of the action.
Now, in that example, it doesn't sound like it matters much which tense you choose.
That's right. Sometimes it doesn't matter. The simple or the continuous form both work just fine. But at other times, only one form sounds right. If you ask our viewers, for example, have you subscribed to this channel?
Have you subscribed to this channel?
It makes sense because it's a quick action that produces an instant result. Now, ask the same question in the present perfect continuous.
Have you been subscribing to this channel?
It just doesn't sound right because the action, subscribing, in this case, is the simple click of a button. It's not an activity that takes a considerable amount of time.
So is that another characteristic of the present perfect continuous? We use it to focus on how long something has been taking?
Yes, that's right. That's what I've been trying to figure out all morning.
And in contrast to time taken, we use the present perfect simple to talk about how much or how many times an action has happened.
I've asked you for that 3 times already.
Stative verbs are only used in the present perfect simple and not the present perfect continuous.
What are stative verbs, Tom?
These are typically verbs of mental reasoning, the 5 human senses, or verbs that indicate a relationship between 2 objects. And I've realized something very surprising.
There are 2 exceptions to this rule. The stative verbs mean and want. We can use them in both the present perfect simple or continuous form with no change of meaning.
We've been wanting to get more out of you ever since you began.
Jay could also say,
We've wanted to get more out of you ever since you started.
And the same goes for mean. To express an intention, you can say, I've meant to do something, or I've been meaning to do something. They're both correct.
and while we're on the subject of verbs that are exceptional to normal rules, let's look at live, work, and drive. These verbs don't change their meaning when you use them in their simple or their continuous forms.
I've lived here for 10 years. I've worked here for 10 years. I've driven this car for 10 years.
Now, listen again.
I've been living here for 10 years. I've been working here for 10 years. I've been driving this car for 10 years.
There's no difference in meaning, but did you notice any difference in attitude? When we use the present perfect continuous, it sounds a little bit more emphatic. The focus on the time spent doing the activity communicates stronger feelings or a closer sense of attachment between the person speaking and the object they're talking about.
And finally, a tip about pronunciation. There's an interesting British and American difference.
Been can be pronounced in two different ways in British English. Bean, like the seed of a plant that we eat. Been. So I've been running some tests on myself. Or bin, like the container you put your rubbish in. So I've been running some tests on myself.
Americans only pronounce it as bin. But Tom, also Americans don't put their trash in a bin. They put it in a wastebasket or a trash container like a garbage can, but never a bin. Just saying.
Yes? Hello, where's your bin?
A what?
Where's your bin?
Oh, I've been working.
Oh, where's your dustbin?
I've just been working, man.
Where's your wheelie bin?
Okay, I've really been playing Pokemon. If you know someone who might find this video useful, please share it with them.
And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't been doing so.
If you haven't done so already. Bye now.
We hope this video was useful for you, but if you need a refresher on when to use the present perfect simple, check out this. And if you want some help with just, yet, and already, 3 words that often go together with the present perfect, then click here. Thanks for watching.